What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are back with another episode of Sincerely the Carsons, and today it's a bit of a special edition for you guys, something to help you get to know each one of us. And today we're going to focus on Malik. So I'm going to be asking Malik some questions to help you understand how he came into his faith and his journey of discovering God, believing in Jesus Christ, and how he came upon Christianity and becoming the man he is today.
Yeah. And also about how I came back to the faith. Because there was a period of time where, I kind of lost myself for a little bit, and kind of what brought me back and why I feel it's important to share.
All right. So if you want to hear about Malik's journey with our Lord and Savior, keep on watching. So for our first question, can you describe what your beliefs were like before you found God?
Before? Mm-hmm. Okay, so before I came into complete faith, I believed in kind of what I think I see a lot of people believe in now, which is kind of like the universe. We made a
video about that.
Yeah, exactly. You see the world, and you're like, well, you believe in the things that you see. What they say, energy, right? I never really necessarily believed in energy, but I believed in a sense of like, you see the birds chirping, you see the grass, the grass gets green, the grass dies, it comes back, you see the natural laws of, how the lion is the head, and then they take their habitat and how they go about their habitat, and you see the fish and how the fish move and how the sharks move. So I would say I believed in like order. I saw the way it played out, and I believed in, the universe is perfectly imperfect or imperfectly perfect, and so I would say I had a belief system of, everything was perfectly set up for us to be here, right? I didn't necessarily at the time, I'll say this. I did tied to God at first because, as you know, I was raised Christian, right? But as I as I got older and became an adult, kind of went away from it. It was like, let me find my own way. So I would say outside of being a child, growing up, I focused on, this is not necessarily about Jesus. This is where I'm going to deem the universe to be. The universe to me, we have to have food, we have to have water, so I saw order and design, right? And I never really questioned what that order and design was, because as a young child, Christianity was kind of forced upon me instead of actual understanding. Mm-hmm. So as I got older, I didn't really tie anything to Christianity because I didn't really understand the concept of it, because it was just pushed on me as like, this is just what you do. Right. So when I got older, I would say probably about 16 and up is when I started to be like, let me figure out my own way. I kind of just forgot about Christianity, didn't think about it.
You felt like it was forced on you?
Yeah, I would say forced, or kind of just like a normal lifestyle. Just like you go to church because your mom says you got to get up and go to church, Mm-hmm. So like I said, as I got like 16 and older, I just was like, let me figure out what I want to figure out about the world, about the universe, about people. And the conclusion that I came up with at the time was, everything is just here for us. So if it's here for us, that means it's, something for us to figure out. That's what I thought. I thought because it's already here for us, it's for us to figure out what comes next.
Was that not true?
Huh?
Like, since you found God, have you found that to be false? A false way of believing?
1,000. I would say, if I could do infinity times, I was completely wrong.
Yeah. What was wrong about, like, because from my understanding, what it sounds like you were saying is like everything's perfect in a way of like nature. Like everything, exactly. The proof of God for you was just how perfect the world is, like in harmony.
Yes.
Right. I
would say this. Mm-hmm. Right, I've always believed in monotheism, but I wouldn't say that I became an atheist, because, like I said, I always believed in monotheism.
Don't jump ahead. That was one of my questions. Dang. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't say that I was an atheist, but because I've always believed in monotheism. Mm. But I will say I had a similar approach of atheism, which is, you know, order and design, you know, is just here for us, you know. And I didn't necessarily always believe in the Big Bang Theory, but I believed in, like, how can I put it? I believe that we came from evolution type of thing, you know, that there's reasons why we started from monkeys and up, and kind of, like I said, the order and design, there was a path. It was like just
like adaptation.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
We just kept getting better and better and better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so that, just to circle back to my question, do you think that that's false now? Do you think that we haven't adapted and evolved? Is that contradictory to your beliefs as a Christian now?
Yes, it's contradictory. And it's not contradictory because of the fact that we didn't evolve, because I do agree that we've evolved, but I don't believe anymore that we've evolved from monkeys. Right. And I don't believe anymore that we've evolved from this certain type of being to humans, right? I think we've revolutionized our brains, which is how we evolved, right? So now I think that what I thought, you know, as a young adult is completely wrong. It's completely wrong.
I'll just play an advocate for your younger self, because I remember us having these conversations early in our relationship, and I think that when you say completely wrong, I think that the origin is what changed for you, and correct me if I'm wrong. The origin is Jesus Christ versus the origin of where you were saying like monkeys or here or here or here, you know what I'm saying? But evolution and adaptation does exist, right?
Yes, correct.
But just from a different origin.
Exactly, from a different origin and a different perspective. Right. Because you have to start thinking about, well, if we came from monkeys, then why is there still monkeys? Right? You have to start asking these questions. Why are they not evolving? Exactly. Why are they not evolving?
Or why didn't that species evolve into human beings and then extinct the monkeys, right?
Exactly.
Because we're still reproducing monkeys today. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So the next question I have is, were you always a non-believer? Like, were you always, you just answered it, you were saying you weren't atheist, but did you always have like a question about God, or were you always like in a very murky area when it came to religion? Or did you start, like you said, like you were raised Christian, did you believe in that at some point, or you were always kind of like on the fence with it?
So, honest truth, I would say because I started going to church and stuff at a young age, truthfully, I didn't really think about it, right? So in my brain, I'm just thinking, you know, you go to church at 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, you're not really going to church to say, I know Jesus, right? You're going to church because you know your friends are at church. You know, we used to have school buses come pick us up in our neighborhood because, for church, because the neighborhood that I grew up in, we didn't have a lot of high income families, right? So, and the people in the areas knew that, so they would, you know, fund buses to come pick up kids in the neighborhood to kind of try to get them away from what the neighborhood brings. So yeah, we used to have churches come pick us up, and we saw it as like kind of a getaway to kind of sit down with your friends and have fun with your friends, right? So when I was a kid, I didn't really associate church with truly understanding Jesus or truly understanding the functionality of church and the Bible, right? I went to church because I thought it was something you do.
Something fun.
Yeah.
Or like social.
Yeah, it's social. Exactly. It's social, and it's something that you do.
But you weren't trying to gain anything from church.
No. Yeah. And I didn't really know I was supposed to gain anything, because when you go, a lot of times that I've noticed, especially now that I'm an adult, I noticed that they don't really tell you you're coming here to learn. They don't really tell you.
You're coming because I told you.
Exactly. They don't really tell you, hey, you're coming here to actually understand the word. Hey, you're coming here to actually figure out who Jesus is. Hey, you're coming here to actually figure out who created you, what created you, where you come from, the origins of the earth. They don't tell you these things. They just, like I said, they send you to church to kind of get you away from the bad neighborhoods and say, hey, this is somewhere they can sit and not get in trouble. Honest, that's just what it was, right?
Well, like in my childhood, were you like, I grew up kind of like fire and brimstone preaching. That was like what I was used to.
Correct.
Did you grow up that way?
So no, I didn't grow up that way because my mom grew up that way, right?
Okay.
My mom.
So she distanced herself.
She distanced herself from that because that's how my mom grew up, right?
Okay.
My mom grew up to where it's like women weren't allowed to do these things. Men had to dress a certain way and be a certain way, and women could not step out of line. Doesn't matter if you were a 12-year-old girl or if you were a 45-year-old woman, right? At those churches that she grew up in, that's just how it was because it was old school, right? So when she had children, she had, my brothers, me, my sisters, she kind of stepped away from that and just made sure we went to church. Us going to church was enough for her.
It was a good job.
Yeah, it was. It was in her mind. It was not the harsh reality of what she thought church was. So she was like, but I'm still gonna at least introduce you to it, right? So that's how she introduced church to us, was just go, type of thing, So she didn't really push it on us either, but she just said go. So when I went to church, it was like I said, I went as a kid. I just went to church because I thought it was fun. They gave us snacks. They gave us free stuff. Shirts, pants.
It's funny you say that. Like, you went for leisure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it sounds.
Yeah.
When I went to church, I was terrified for my life. My church was like, you going to hell.
Yeah.
Like, you cussing, you talking to boys, you wearing nail polish, you wearing makeup, you wearing pants, you going to hell. And I can relate to church not being what it was designed to be. Like, it's different than yours. Like, you went for leisure, so it was like all the way left. Like, we here to play, we here to do this, we here to do that. And mom was like, when you come in here, if I even see you playing, you gonna get pinched.
Yeah.
You have to get towed up. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like sitting there like this, and all you hear is, bow your head if you ain't going to hell. It's like, and, you 12. And I'm just like this.
Yeah.
And so I think that I love that you touched on your parents or whoever is the guardian that's taking you to church to help the children understand that you're going for this, because it can go either way. Like, I can be going and not caring why I'm going and not really taking it serious, or I could be going and getting a message that's almost like life-changing. Yeah, like convicting me of things that kind of are ripping away my innocence, right? Like, I'm scared to cross my legs with a skirt on because I might be making somebody lust next to me. You start to have these convictions of things where your heart was pure, but now you're starting to like put yourself in a box that really doesn't fit. And I had to learn what conviction actually was when I got older, and it was a difficult path for me. So I understand. So what influenced your disbelief in God during the time that, like, once you got out of childhood, right? Like, you're not going to church no more. Like you said, around 16. What influenced you to like not just believe blindly and like to go like find your own way, and eventually we're here, right? But what influenced
you kind of saying, like, what was that middle point? Like, what influenced me to kind of go rogue? Like, what was it that, because a lot of people believe blindly. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have been raised this way, and it's always been this way, and they're not going to change it, even if they have questions. It's like, have you ever heard that questioning God will get you in trouble? Yes. Like that. Like, I should never question it. And I should never try to gain belief in myself. I should kind of depend on someone else to help me. I would say what kind of made me go rogue.
That's a good way to put it.
Was honest truth. And I can say this now because of where I am, but at the time I didn't understand what I'm about to say, right? And I would say the honest truth is God gave me a gift that at the time I didn't understand, right? And one of those gifts is He gave me a brain that thinks outside the box, right? Everything I do in life, you know me. Everything I can you do. Everything I do, I kind of think outside the box, right? And I think it was my journey that he wanted me to go on.
Right.
And at the time I didn't, like I said, I didn't understand it because I'm still a kid, you know?
Yeah.
So I just was a questioner. I questioned everything. I didn't care what it was. It was, you know,
like a gift though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a gift. Like, I questioned everything. It didn't matter what it was. It could have been, you know, it could have been the teacher explaining